Tonight, we've got Beyond the Gates talk. We're going to be talking about Jurassic World 4's casting and some other stuff. Maybe even a little bit of chaos theory. I am Brad Jost, and this is Let's Talk Jurassic. Welcome, everybody, to another Let's Talk Jurassic, your weekly live stream here from the Jurassic Park Podcast. Thank you so much. If you've returned out there, if you're back for another one, we really, really appreciate it. If you're new here, welcome. This is the stream. This is what we do. And if you're lurking out there, say hi for once. We'd like to see you out there, I guess. I'm stumbling all over the place. I don't know what's going on. I just sat down. I'm ready to record and talk. But let's go ahead and see who's here, because we have somebody else here that I want to check in on in just a second. But we've got Muzzamill here. What's going on? Jurassic Souls. How you doing? Cretaceous Dave's not counting at all. We've got Super Chat here from Jurassic Souls. Thank you so much. I wonder what kind of character Rupert Friend could play in the next Jurassic. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Rainbow Cookie Saurus. There we go. Need to see. We're here. Let's see. Vanessa's here. Hey, Vanessa, how you doing? This one, I cannot read that. Hey, what's going on? All right, so let's go ahead and bring in my little co-host. He's not little. I mean, he's just like normal-sized human. But that is the one, the only Aaron Beyer.
I mean,
how you doing?
I'm short. Like, I gotta go as far
maybe
as
it's little.
Like, jeez.
I'm trying to get through this intro quick, and I'm like stumbling all over the place, and then I call you little. So that's what kind of night we're gonna have, I think.
That's all right.
But I'm
good.
Oh, good. At least that's fair. I'll ask you again one more time in a few minutes, so don't worry. If anybody checked into our recent live stream with Aaron, it was a month ago. We're doing these at a monthly rate again, it seems, and we recorded a Jurassic Wire live on this live stream, and we aired it on the podcast feed. So we're going to do that same thing again tonight. I can't imagine it's going to be like a super long Wire episode or anything like that, but I'm excited to chat because we got a few things to discuss, like I said in the opening. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. I don't have my Wire notes. I don't know why, but this is what happened last time, is like my note system like didn't actually work. So let's see if I can get it to work this time. But anyway, have you been keeping up to date with Jurassic at all, like over the past month?
You know your music is still playing, right?
Yeah. We're not recording the Wire segment yet, but
okay. I've been keeping up a little bit. I see the news every now and then. I'm actually more interested in what's been going on in evolution. I guess looks like we're going to get the Microceratus, which I think wraps up all the on-screen dinosaurs, I think, for the Jurassic series.
I don't even know.
But yeah, I mean, to me, that's just become kind of like my cozy game. So just hang out on the portal and build my park. And but no, as far as like the movies are concerned and the show, not too much, which I know is just like kind of blasphemy, but I feel like we were just like bombarded with great stuff from like, I want to say like Fallen Kingdom onward. Like the Fallen Kingdom push was really like where things got like really heavy. The Jurassic World push was interesting, but it was nothing like what Fallen Kingdom was doing, right?
Sure.
And Brad, I've been saying it for months, years, some would say, but I listed Jurassic Park product on eBay.
Oh, I almost spit out my coffee. I can't believe it's finally happening.
It's finally happening.
Goodbye, Jurassic product.
It's not even that. Like, all right, so maybe we can get into it in the Wire or when we're talking about some of these Mattel releases.
Yeah, sure.
But I have started inventorying my Mattel stuff on a spreadsheet. Because you know me, like I like to have my multiples, right? And maybe if you stick around for the wire, maybe I'll tell you some of those insane numbers I found.
Okay.
That I'm a little embarrassed to talk about, but maybe I don't need 5 ceratosaurs.
Maybe not.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe not.
What's up, Andy? How you doing? Hey, Steve. Glad you made it. And Robert. Hey, what's up, Robert? How you doing? All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the wire in just a minute. As always, I just want to go ahead and showcase what we've been working on our end real quick before we get into that. So please go over to our website, JurassicParkPodcast.com. Check it out. We did a spoiler-free podcast. You've got only a few more days to catch up on the spoiler-free episode before the actual show, Jurassic World Chaos Theory, comes out. We watched the show all the way through. We've got an interview with the executive producers and showrunners, Scott Kramer and Aaron Hammersley. So please check out that episode. Plus, myself and Tom give you that full spoiler-free like reactions and thoughts and stuff like that. So please check that episode out. As well as that, Tom also wrote up a non-spoiler review. So check out his review over on the website as well. And tomorrow, there will be another episode. Oh, no, not tomorrow. What day is it? It's still Wednesday. So Friday, when the show actually comes out. When the show comes out, I know you're all gonna have to watch through 10 episodes, but once those episodes are done, you can come to the show, and we will have a full like spoiler podcast where we're talking about all the deep spoilers and things that happened in the series. So check that out on Friday. And then I'm still trying to figure out the schedule for next week. We're going to air this Wire episode that we're going to record, but we're also going to air another interview with the executive producers about like some spoiler details and get some inside information from what they were thinking about when they were making this show. So check that out next week. But yeah, lots of content coming your way. Then Jurassic June is right around the corner. We've got a lot. But Aaron, are you ready to record the Jurassic Wire?
Yeah, 1000%. Let's go.
All right, so let me dip this audio down. And again, this is our behind the scenes process of how we record an episode. So so this is what it's like on the back end when you guys aren't watching. But same thing, I'm going to discuss all those topics, and I'm going to do the intro right now. Aaron, you ready?
Let's go.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Jurassic Wire. I am Brad Jost, and my co-anchor for this program is Aaron Beyer. The Jurassic Wire is a segment here on the Jurassic Park Podcast where we discuss all the latest news in the Jurassic saga and the latest conversations around the Jurassic community. Today, we're going to be discussing the latest from Beyond the Gates. There's been a few updates for Jurassic World 4, if we're going to call it that. Sure, why not? And maybe we'll touch on a little bit of Jurassic World Chaos Theory. But before that, Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for some of the content that's coming out. I'm a little ambivalent. Ambivalent?
Yeah, that works. That feels like you.
Yeah. I'm a little ambivalent to some of the other content coming out. And if this is the part that's going on the podcast, Brad, I started my eBay page with Jurassic content.
So I have heard.
I listed items, Brad. They're going to leave my house.
They're going to actually leave your house. Unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that's actually happening, which I said already, but like, how are you finding the process? Because you've been talking about this for a long time now. So you finally got them posted. How's it looking on your end?
It's really weird. So I am selling them for less than their value, but I am selling them for more than what I paid, right? So some might call that scalping. I would consider scalping over when like the actual item is just not available, right? Like if you're like buying a ton of stock just to sell it that moment, like the PlayStation Portal or PS5, I would feel like that's scalping. If I've got things lying around that are of value, I'm going to try to like at least be competitive. Where I'm less than Amazon, I'm less than everyone else on eBay, and I still cannot push these things, even though things are selling for more like every 2 or 3 days. Well, I'll get into it. It's crazy. It's weird.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fair play, if that's the going rate for a lot of these things, and you're actually coming in under it, so it's surprising nobody's hitting them up first. You
I
said
mean,
other ones are selling, so
I'm seeing like Hammond collection ceratosaurs selling for like the high 100s, like 180, and I think I'm at like
ah man.
160. And like still, it's like I don't know, man. I used to sell hot toys on eBay, and those things would move within like 48 hours. And this Hammond collection stuff, yikes! I might have to like put some
Hmm.
like lesser desirables with it to be like, look, and you get a bonus Metriacanthosaur from Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
I have
Um,
16 Owen Grady's that you can have with all the same attire. Here, please.
the numbers are crazy, and in fact, maybe we talk about the numbers a little bit when we talk about Mattel. But my collection is going to be changing the way I collect. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I feel like it just happened recently, with all the different toys that they're doing on Beyond the Gates, which we'll get to in a little bit. We'll talk about that later, but I just feel like the trend is changing. I don't know if that's like the same for everybody out there, but how many years in now? It's been going on since 2018. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We're talking 7 years now of
Yeah.
straight Jurassic collecting, like hardcore with tons of things. So it's the steam is running out.
Yeah. I was so as I was doing this, there were certain dinosaurs like I didn't know their names for my spreadsheet, and I was scrolling through the Jurassic Toys JP Toys website, and just the sheer volume of ones that I missed, whether it was like they came out at a bad financial time or just like I didn't know they existed. Because Beyond the Gates doesn't really promote the standard lines like at all. It's all pretty much like geared towards older collectors like you and I. And
There's some
I
legacy
was
stuff, and the legacy stuff is basically core stuff. So, but it's
yeah,
only legacy for the most part. It's not like true core stuff.
it's just like I was going through that website and I was like, oh my gosh, I've missed so much that like realistically, I need to like pare it down to like if I were to have a Jurassic Park island, which species would I want? Because Jurassic Park can't hold like 100 species. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
does, does it? I mean, could they hold 100 species? I don't really know, but there's easily 100
Good
species.
question.
I feel like in the Mattel line, and maybe I don't need them all. I mean, Jurassic Park, as we know, the movie I think only had like 15 species on Site A at their
Yeah, something like
desired opening. The
that.
book I think had roughly the same, so it's like maybe I at least pick like 20 species, and like that's my Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
We'll
So if you're
see.
listening on the podcast feed, every now and then you might hear, I think it's coming through like a little bloop kind of noise. We do have the live chat going right now, and Muzzamil here says, I've done more collecting in recent years, especially post Dominion. So that's interesting. Like I think I've done less just because my hype level was so interested, like back in 2018, and it's progressively got lower and lower. Maybe it peaked somewhere in the middle there because of like Hammond collection and things like that, but it certainly slowed down for me.
Well, and I'll tell you like what's a little bit of a bummer. Like as I'm going through this inventory, doing the numbers, like I haven't inventoried my Tyrannosaurs yet, but like if I look down here at there's a pile of Tyrannosaurs, dude.
Uh huh.
Like
Uh huh.
there's easily 11 Tyrannosaurs down there, and it's like, oh, do you want Ian Malcolm with his Lost World car? Okay, great, you get a Tyrannosaur. Do you want
I know.
do you want the Monolophosaurus? Great, you have to buy a Tyrannosaur. Like this is and
Yeah,
Velociraptors. The Velociraptors are insane too. So
that's been getting me too recently with we just started seeing like Camp Cretaceous, or sorry, Chaos Theory characters pop up now with their special packs. And yes, it is an Ahsoka mug, by the way, that I am drinking out of. But there's been like Chaos Theory characters with, I don't know what the dinosaurs were, I forget, but like Velociraptor or Atrociraptor and Dilophosaurus, or just generic things that we've gotten a bunch of, and I'm like, I really don't want to buy two dinosaurs that I already have just for this one character. So
I
at
mean,
least
look,
it's
like
not the Ellie situation, which I believe
I like
you did.
which I did, but honestly, I'm getting like as soon as I get the Hammond collection Giganotosaurus, man, like that thing's gone. Like that is like a
Oh yeah,
freebie.
yeah.
Like, please buy
Not
my
even.
Hammond
You
collection.
shouldn't even give it to anybody. You should find a sledgehammer and destroy it.
It's
That's what you
so
should
bad.
do.
It's it's almost as bad as the Hasbro Indominus Rex. Like it's pretty up there as far as like poor quality of
I
a
still
sculpt.
got that thing laying
Um,
around.
yeah, me too. It's over in the other room. I mean, look, I like my herds, right? So like some of the numbers, standard Gallimimus, so that includes anything that's not Hammond collection, 18. Hammond collection Gallimimus 10. So 28 Gallimimus in my herd. And I found another Gallimimus like in a box. And I was like, I can sell this one. Like I don't need 29,
Uh,
right? Like
oh
we're
my
okay.
god. What are you
Um
doing?
I'm trying to find some other like just insane numbers. Velo- okay, Velociraptors between standard Hammond collections and beta, like little beta figures. 36 Velociraptors.
Man.
Now,
Yeah.
that's not all me being like, oh, I like this raptor design. That's sometimes me being
No.
like, man, I want this guy, I want these JP workers with the crate. Oh, you get 2 Velociraptors. Okay. Like, great.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, there was so many that came with Velociraptors, and then, there's been so many variations that I think like have been very cool. And initially, that was the one species that I was going to collect them all. They were my Pokemon. Like I was gonna have every
Sure.
one of them. I was gonna put them up on the shelf. And then it got to the point where there was too many, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm just gonna keep what I have, and now I just don't even care about the Velociraptors at all. So, yeah, and at this point, I don't know. I think I might have mentioned it last time. I'm not sure, but like I've recently changed like my shelf system here, and I wanted to spread out the love a little bit, and I added like more Ghostbusters, more Indiana Jones, more Ahsoka stuff, more Star Wars stuff, and I took away the entire bottom shelf was all Jurassic, and now it's not Jurassic. Actually, no, the two middle shelves are just the vehicles
Sure.
over there. So, but core stuff is mostly gone from my shelves. So, yeah, that's a shame because I have so much core stuff.
Like,
It's
I
a
mean,
shame.
it was just kind of nuts. Like, I think Carnotaurs, not Hammond collection ones, I think there was 5. And then I've got 2 Hammond collection ones out of the box. And so it's like, well, I don't think Jurassic World had 7 Carnotaurs. I feel like the ones we saw in the movie were pretty like accurate as to like the collection that Jurassic World had, like 2. Maybe there was another one floating around the island somewhere, like 3, but like I don't think Jurassic World had 7 Carnotaurs. So it's like, all right, well, maybe like
No, yeah, I don't know.
maybe some of the Gen 1 Carnotaurs go, because I think those are the weakest ones in the as far as
Really?
design
Okay. I
is
mean, I
concerned.
really like the Gen 1. I thought that one was a very Crash McCreary design to me, like the way it's posed and everything. I really dig the way it's posed. It's the second gen that I think it gets more a little cartoony and bigger. You remember that first one was really small. Like it was
Here's the
fairly small.
Yeah, it was lean. Here's the thing. I really
Yeah.
like that second one. The thing is, they're not the Hammond collection one. If you don't have that one, man, you're missing
I
out on
do.
one of the best. Okay, that is one of the best
Got it over
Mattel.
there.
That is one of the best Mattel figures to date.
Mhm.
It's absolutely fantastic. So I've got 2 of those actually on my shelf, back there. I think they're so good. And then that Amazon, like I'm getting rid of some of my smaller Triceratops because that Eco Green one or whatever it was that came out, uh, that is as definitive of a Triceratops toy as the Kenner one that we gush about. And you can get that on Amazon for like $13. Like they're like giving them away.
Mhm.
Those are hard to pass up when I see those, man. Like seriously, like the ones that
Sure.
were like in the movies, So yeah, I'm just trying to pare down and be a little smarter, um, with the way I collect. And I think that maybe gets into why I'm starting to love Hammond collection. so much more
Uh-huh.
because it's one and done, man. If if you want the numbers, you got to get the ones you want, and then it's over for. I mean, who knows? Do you think we'll get a second run of these ever? Like, does Hammond Collection scream like last ditch effort to you?
Well, I mean, we got 2 T-Rex right off the bat. So, I don't know that it's going to be one and done,
Oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, the T
but
variants.
for the most part, like I'm sure we'll get Raptor Squad, we'll get, different variations of things, but not like, oh, here's the pink one, here's the orange one, here's the, whatever, just random color schemes. I don't think we'll ever get that far, right? It's just mostly going to be what we've seen, I would assume.
Right, and it seems like they're still like on target. I remember complaining because at Black Friday this last year, like they put up that T Rex, the Hammond Collection T Rex for like teen dollars, like or whatever. I remember being mad because they were sold out. That was just a Black Friday deal. Like they still are selling Hammond Collection Tyrannosaurs at Target for like the 40s or 50s, and it seems like Mattel is going to keep that one in circulation. Like this is the definitive T Rex toy. If you want it, get it from
Mhm.
Target kind of deal. But like Dimetrodon, I'm not selling any of my Dimetrodons, but that Hammond Collection Dimetrodon goes for like $60-$70. Same with the Dilophosaurus, and it's like, you think they'll run Dilophosaurus again? Like, would they come up with a new line or something? Like, how does Star Wars handle it? Like, they're clearly pumping out characters over and over again. Like, what do they do?
Oh yeah. Anniversaries, different stuff like that, I'm sure we could see,
Okay.
down the line another anniversary edition of something, but and Target is I don't know if they would ever work specifically like to get a certain, exclusive one, but like Target tends to do things that are like, here's like a shiny version or something, like, so I don't know if they'll end up doing stuff like that for Hammond Collection, but I can't imagine. But
No, I don't
yeah,
think
I
so.
mean, I hope most of it's just one and done, kind of like you're saying, because I don't need much else at this point. I have one shelf that's free, one small spot on my shelf. After reorganizing everything, I have one spot, so I can't add too many more things here because I like other things other than Jurassic. Surprise!
I mean, that's
I
the
don't know
thing.
if
It's like,
anybody
so
knew
what
that.
the anybody that's watching, you see Jurassic stuff on my shelf, but that's pretty strategically placed because I know I'm on the podcast once a month. Like, everything above it, it's Marvel. Below it is kind of just random favorite characters from other things. Like there's an Indiana Jones like directly behind me. I think there's a Doc Brown back there somewhere. There's a Justice League
Mm.
back there, and then the bottom shelf is like books and papers.
Yeah, the
So
bottom shelf is rough. Like I can at least see mine like down here. I don't have which way to turn, but you can catch it in the stream, so that does work. But I did not strategically place anything because my Jurassic stuff is just behind my head. Like so you can just see the outskirts of my Jurassic stuff on this shelf. Everything else is other stuff. You got a little Boo over on this side. You've got Ahsoka, Indiana Jones, all kinds of Star Wars stuff up top.
I mean, I've got
But
these like vanilla. I've got these vanillaware video game characters back here, like these like anime statues. Like, I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to see anime statues on the Jurassic Park podcast? I don't think
why
so.
not? I don't care. Who cares, man? Let them know that you're more than a fan of one thing, because that's what happens when you
No,
tend to talk about things on the Jurassic Park podcast. You get pigeonholed into you're only a fan of Jurassic and nothing else. It's like talk about Jurassic, dummy. Nothing else. I don't want to hear you say anything about Star
yeah,
Wars or
that's true. I do
Marvel or
remember. I remember streaming one time. But Ashley and I streamed with Lego Jurassic at one point, and
Hmm.
people were asking, like, we were like, we're gonna stream video games, and yeah, it just happens to be Jurassic. Like, we were streaming it here on this channel,
Yeah,
and I told her, I said, be careful. Like, you got to know about Jurassic. She's like, it's video games. I'm like, nope. The people that are watching, they want to know your opinions on Jurassic. They don't care if you know about video games. And kind of like, sure enough, it was like, we got done, and she's like, that's all they talk about is Jurassic. I'm like, it's the Jurassic Park podcast, Ashley. Like, of course.
that's true. That's true. All right, so let's
Yeah.
talk about our topics here tonight. So I want
Yeah,
to
we're
move
already
over
cruising at 15 minutes.
to yeah, I know, right? So I want to move over to some of our other stuff. Let's see here. All right, we're going to talk about the new film and a new Jurassic World movie lands Rupert Friend in starring role. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. They reported this May 22nd, 2024 at 3:05 p.m. That Rupert Friend is joining the franchise, and no information really, just other than he's going to be in the movie. And I don't know if you know of him. Did you know of him before this news popped up?
No, I had no idea who this guy was.
Oh,
I did
poor
a
Rupert.
I did a quick yeah. Well, I mean, I don't partake in film anymore, really, man. Like I'm
You got out
I
of
have
it
might
and
see
you're done.
posters. Yeah, kind of like that kind of burned me out a little bit. Um, but I did a Google search for him, and this photo you're showing, he's very like nice and clean cut, kind of like a scrawny James Bond character right here.
I
Dude,
could
there's
see
photos
that,
of
yeah.
this guy. There's photos of this guy like with little mustaches, with like some beard action. There's one where his hair is like super short and he's wearing like a
Little
blue
mustaches.
like a blue it's not a Henley, but like a button-up jean shirt. And I'm like, dude, this guy is pretty darn close. He could be they could be like, this is Owen Grady, and you
just
might be
run
like,
with it.
okay, yeah, just run with it. Like there are some photos where he looks very Owen Grady-ish.
All right, let me bring up some other images just so we can see here. But
Just
here's
put his name into
okay. I see
all right,
little
so that one right there in
mustache.
the
Yeah,
middle. Look at that in the
was
one in
yeah
the middle with
bald
the brown.
hitman. Yeah, I can see definitely. Definitely's got some different vibes. He could do like a Professor X if he wanted to. He could do,
Yeah,
a James Bond villain, as Muzzamil here said. And it says, Muzzamil says it reminds him of Orlando Bloom. There was actually a picture where I just thought like kind of did look like him. I don't know which picture it was, but I could see like maybe like that one, this suit one here, kind of like looks a little bit like Orlando Bloom.
yeah.
But I don't see any pictures of the Grand Inquisitor um, right here. But that was the one thing that popped into my head right off the bat. Was I most recent? I don't know if it was actually most recent. I think I most recently saw him in the Wes Anderson stuff that came out last year, I believe. He came out with a few different things. There was 4 shorts. I think he was in. It looks like 2 of them. The Ratcatcher and the Swan, and those were like short films that were on Netflix from Wes Anderson. So those are pretty good, and you can get some good ideas to what he does. Asteroid City, I watched him in that last year. I forget like what his role was in that movie, but I saw him in that. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi, he played the Grand Inquisitor, and
Oh,
unfortunately, God,
I've seen Obi-Wan. I didn't know that was him. So I mean, I guess
yeah,
I've seen
he's
something
under there.
he was in. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately, that was not my favorite. I was kind of nothing really against him. I was angry that they decided to go a different route for the Grand Inquisitor. Then, of course, he's not showing up in any of these pictures that I'm trying to find. Than how he looked like in the show Rebels, the TV show Rebels, and we've since seen him. I believe, yeah, here he is. He's got a very round head in Obi-Wan, but in Rebels, his head is very tall and long, and that species in the show and in the movies have had longer heads. So it was weird that they cast him and then gave him this round head. Vocally, I guess he sounded fine. I forget, but I think he was okay there. It's just the look was weird. So, but again, nothing against him. I'm just going off on a little Star Wars tangent here because I like
no, but
talking about Star Wars, everybody.
I think that's a good point, right? Like this is kind of really my only beef with the Disney Star Wars stuff. I mean, the shows, I guess. It's like I feel like there's a lot of strong actors in some of these things. Like I for one, I kind of liked Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I
It's one of
liked
my
it.
least like I liked it enough. Um but it's weird like you're saying like oh the species. It's like well, why are they not like sticking to the lore of what this species is or like Jack Black and who was the singer that he was with in that show? Like come on, they don't belong here. Like this is Star Wars, like it's just some of
Jack
the
Black
Star
was
Wars
in the
stuff. Like,
show. Oh, in Mandalorian with Lizzo.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
whatever. You could it's
I was
like
like,
to
what
me,
are you
it's all
talking about? I
blends.
totally forgot that happened.
Yeah, well, I thought it was an
uh,
Obi-Wan, so it goes to tell you
well,
like where I'm at with all this stuff.
I'm okay with Star Wars doing that a kind of experimentation because I thought that episode was a lot of fun actually, and but yeah, the species thing, I'm not sure why we stray, and we've always had that conversation. I think even within Jurassic, it's like why do we have a different looking thing? Why does Nublar look a little different than it did initially? Like, why are we not getting these things right the first time? So, but point aside, this is Rupert Friend, and he did
Sure.
a great job. I think he did a great job. He wasn't really in the show all that long, but and like I said, I think he did a good job in the Wes Anderson shorts and the Asteroid City film. And he worked with Scarlett Johansson in that movie, Asteroid City. She was in there as well. And yeah, so they'll have a little bit of a rapport. To me, I'm getting the vibe that he could be a bad guy. That I know I just talked about the Grand Inquisitor, bad guy. I don't necessarily think he was a bad guy in the Wes Anderson stuff. So I think he does have a very warm presence, and he could be a very nice character. So I don't think he's a guy that's like strictly bad guys, like Giancarlo Esposito. Like, you see that guy and you're like, oh, he's bad guy all the way. He's in The Mandalorian as a bad guy. He's in Breaking Bad as a bad guy. He's in everything as a bad guy. But this, I don't think he could always be pigeonholed as a bad guy. But Grand Inquisitor and maybe some other stuff in his catalog. I don't really know. I'm not too sure what else.
Now, is it safe to
played a
assume,
bad
because
guy.
I saw the Hollywood Reporter stuff come out, like where Glenn Powell from Twisters was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
we'll
guy
talk about that.
had the
We'll talk
script."
about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that up.
Are you assuming this is the
next or
same
so.
character?
No, I would. I don't know. I think it could be anything. We'll talk about that.
Because when
But
they
I
cast
think
these roles, they're looking for a look, right? And I feel like Glenn Powell and this guy have that look.
yeah, but also so does Jonathan Bailey, who is also cast in this movie.
Okay.
So Jonathan Bailey, very good looking dude too. I don't have a picture of him right here, but yeah, he's going to be in the new Wicked movie, and I think he's in Bridgerton or something. But yeah, so it could be either that role, this role, who knows? But yeah, I'm excited at least to see what Rupert Friend does. Oops, just changed the page.
And
I feel like it's a
confirmed?
bad guy. Yes, this is confirmed. Yes.
No, but it's confirmed that Scarlett Johansson is leading this movie.
Yeah, it continues to be talked about. I don't know if it's just carried over because I felt like the initial one was again just a trade. It's none of these are confirmed, but they're confirmed within trades. So
Okay.
nothing really has been confirmed other than a date. That's the only thing that's legitimately been confirmed, like from the studio I'm talking about. Everything else has been trades. So we'll see. But, the leading discussion here is, starring next to her and Jonathan Bailey in this movie. And we've heard so much casting. Oh, we also did get Manuel Garcia Rolfo. I don't know that guy either, but he was cast like last week or so. And I don't know what he'll be playing either. It's like we're getting so much casting news, which I feel like it feels unusual to me. Like I follow a lot of cast stuff, but like the way in which these are all getting announced so like directly is pretty interesting to me. And Muzzamil here says that ScarJo is getting on the Kelly Clarkson show next Tuesday, so maybe we'll hear something there. We did get some Scarlett news this past week about AI and Chat GPT, I believe was
good for her, man. Like she 1000%. Like I cannot imagine anyone's gonna like. How is that not
argue
controversial?
against
They
that?
clearly stole her voice. Like, I mean, we don't gotta go there on this show, but like, they clearly stole. her voice.
For sure. It definitely sounded like her to me, and the fact that she was used as an AI, voice in a movie. But yeah, so there was a lot of Scarlett stuff going on around the internet, but nothing Jurassic popped up. It wasn't like she wasn't going to use that to bounce off of that news to Jurassic. That would have been weird. But I could definitely see if next week she pops up on Kelly Clarkson, I could surely see, some sort of announcement there because The Jonathan Bailey one was like kind of announced, I guess. I forget what initially came first, but it was like that same day or so where Jimmy Fallon asked him, he's like, so I hear you're going to be in the new Jurassic movie. And he's like, yep. And they started talking about that for a minute. So, yeah, so we're getting confirmations here left and right. So, I'm excited. I guess the Jonathan Bailey one feels more legit than most of the other ones too. We've gotten Gareth Edwards talking about it a little bit, on his own, which was nice. We got Jonathan Bailey talking about it a little bit on his own, but that's about it officially. So hopefully Scarlett makes some sort of mention of it like next week. And I was saying recently that Jurassic June is literally like a week or so away, week and a half or whatever. And that's got to be the time, right? We have to be getting something.
Does Universal typically partake in Jurassic June? Like, are they like...
Yes and no. Sometimes depends.
Yeah,
never know. You never know.
Right? Like,
we don't know what they ever want to do with announcing anything. So,
but there's precedent for announcing characters on like these daytime talk shows. Like, isn't that how we all found out that that Laura Dern was coming back? Weren't they talking to Bryce Dallas Howard like on, I don't know, was it like Ellen or something?
I don't know.
It was one of those shows.
Laura Dern actually came out during like a Q&A or screening of I forget what it was, but Neems was the one who actually asked the question, and then Colin brought her out on stage. So yeah, but this anyway, Rupert Friend, that's done. So let's move on to that other piece, which one do we have first actually? Let's go to that Glenn Powell one since you brought that up. So I got Glenn Powell here with his belly's showing. Good looking
risque,
dude.
Man, risque.
I know. Let's see it on the stream. Whoa, let's keep scrolling. But down at the bottom of this very, very long article talking about Glenn Powell, he's the new kind of Hollywood it guy who's in a lot of stuff. He was in Anyone But You, I believe. I went to go see that in the movies. And he's great. And he was in Camp Cretaceous, this guy. So he's no stranger. Which I feel like is funny. I don't feel like anybody's mentioning that fact that he was actually in the Jurassic franchise already. Man, look at that guy. Wow. Like, that's a good looking dude. Wow.
Look, he's no Henry Cavill, but yeah, all right, I'll give it to him.
Okay.
We did it. We got our Henry Cavill reference in.
We had to get a Henry Cavill in, yeah. By the way, did you see the what's his name? Gerald? No, it's not Gerald. Geralt? What's his name? Gerald? I forget. It's been a long time since I watched that show. I saw the new Liam Neeson. What's his name? Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, I saw like a behind the scenes. Man, what a sad. Wow.
It was no Henry Cavill. We can say that for sure.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, so Glenn Powell was interviewed, I think again by the Hollywood Reporter here. They're hitting it big time here. They the Hollywood Reporter's hitting it big time. But yeah, they definitely need it. They need some extra help. Anyway, at the end of this article, he mentions Jurassic is one of my favorite movies. It's one of the things I've wanted to do my whole life. I'm not doing that movie because I read the script and I immediately was like, my presence in this movie doesn't help it, he explains. And the script is great. The movie's going to effing kill. I'm not about it, or it's not about that. It's about choosing what you're going to make an audience happy. I don't know how to read. It's about choosing where you're going to make an audience happy and where you're going to make yourself happy. Okay, so basically, I need to hear the tone of what is going on here because I'm kind of confused with like the delivery of like, I love Jurassic. It's so great. I read the script. I don't want to do that movie because it wouldn't be good with me in it. That's basically like the tone I'm gathering. It's kind of weird.
Like the line, I don't help this movie. Or the way he says it exactly.
He says, I immediately was like, my presence in this movie doesn't help it.
Right. That's a weird thing to say, is it not? And then it feels like he
weird,
backtracks.
Yeah.
Then it feels like he backtracks and goes, "Oh no, it's great. It's
Script's
great." Because
great.
in Hollywood,
Script's
you have
great.
to you gotta like, yeah.
The movie's gonna kill.
Yeah,
Script's great, but I shouldn't be in this.
Dude, I don't help this dumpster fire. Like, that's for sure. you know.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit here because um he read the script and he was immediately like, my presence doesn't help it. Um, I don't know that he's definitely saying like, me being in this would make it better. I don't know that he's saying like, the movie needs help. I don't think that's what he's necessarily saying. It kind of sounds that
No, I
way,
don't think so either.
but I think he's mostly just saying like, there's no reason for me to be in this movie. Like, and he's like, right now, I think he talked about like Marvel and stuff. He doesn't want to do a Marvel movie or something. So I think he's focused on like doing things that he wants to do. And I find that funny because he's now in Twisters, which is, I don't know if it's exactly a sequel. I think it might be just like a complete redo kind of. I'm not totally sure on that, but in that movie, it's so funny because Twister, like the initial posters were like from the creators of Jurassic Park. And now for this movie, Twisters, the poster now says from the creators of
Yeah.
Jurassic World. So they're upgrading and, they're trying to take, the same stance as they did in the past. So he's in that movie, and that movie I think looks pretty good. I'm excited to see it. I've heard some good things. I'm not a fan of them completely removing any sort of Van Halen from the score. What is going on? Universal, did you not listen to that first movie? Van Halen was the identity of that movie. I know Eddie Van Halen's dead, but his son is still alive, Wolfgang. Get Wolfgang to do some guitar parts in this movie because that's what the identity of that movie was. But that besides
It's
the
been
point.
so long since I've seen that movie. Like, is that?
I watch it all the time. Okay, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But there's a whole like country music album, and I'm like, I think it's country, and I'm like, no, please, I don't want that. But anyway, he's in that movie, and I think that like, I think my presence in this movie doesn't help it. I think he's just saying like,
It's a
I don't
weird thing to
know
say,
if
man.
I think he just means to say like, I don't think I'm a good fit for this movie or something like that in the best way possible. Like, like maybe he's not right for the part or maybe somebody else would be better, So I think that's probably the tone or whatever he was trying to go for. But it's just a weird way to say it for sure. So hopefully it doesn't mean that this movie needs help. Because we've all been thinking that. I feel like we've all been thinking that with the way that they're kind of seemingly rushing into this project. Let's hope that that's not what he means.
It really makes me feel like, do you remember the interview with Chris Pratt where he was like, "Oh, I have a team that like, we mull over movies, and we knew that like Jurassic World was the right one for me to do. Like, I want my history in movies to be like of quality films and not necessarily like
Why are you saying that when
it,
Garfield is coming out this weekend? Why are
well,
you saying
but
that?
this is what I'm saying. It's like, well, it's like I believe almost all of that until he's Garfield. And what's really weird about Garfield, they are not marketing that he's in that movie at all.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty low. Yeah,
I've seen the trailers, man. There is not a whisper of Chris Pratt in that trailer, and it's like this to me feels like Chris Pratt's first like cash grab, because I don't feel like there's been very many cash grabs. Like even like I'm sure he's made a ton of cash doing what he's done, but like,
yeah, for sure.
But like I don't feel like it doesn't feel like he did Marvel as like a cash grab.
All that stuff
like
was really good stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
And now he's in
I see what you mean though. Like, and that's honestly what it sounds like is going on here, right? With Glenn Powell, he's not just trying to take whatever it sounds, and he said it at the end. It's about choosing where you're going to make an audience happy and where you're going to make yourself happy. So, yeah, I think that's the case, but I don't know what Chris Pratt's up to and why he's taking Garfield. So, I did hear the trailer though, and I gotta say, it didn't always sound like just straight Chris Pratt. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's doing a little something different here. I was kind of okay with it. You know, I know it doesn't sound exactly like the Garfield that you'd want, but does anybody want a certain Garfield at this point? Like that's kind of, I think it's past its prime. Like that definitely, I think you're right. It's kind of more so a cash grab, even though I don't know that's going to make a lot of cash. So we'll see.
Honestly, like if we can get a good Garfield movie, like if this one's good, I'm happy to see Garfield step into the light. But
Yeah,
I,
sure. My
Chris
my
Pratt
kids
knows he's the
watched
medium, right? Like,
my kids watched a Woody Woodpecker movie, and it just came out like last year or
wow.
this year or something, and it was god awful, dude. It was
Oh,
not good.
that's sad.
It
That's
was
sad.
on Netflix or whatever. It was just like, and that I feel like is the era of, I don't know when the timelines were, but like to me, growing up as a kid, I saw Woody Woodpecker and I saw Garfield together at that same time. But then again, I was watching also like Nick at Night and like stuff from like 1950 or something. So who knows? But yeah. Anyway, Glenn Powell. Let's not forget that he was in Camp Cretaceous. So I've seen a lot of headlines saying like he doesn't want to do Marvel or Jurassic, no, not ever. And I'm like, well, he did actually. So let's not forget he was in Camp Cretaceous and he was doing some like beatboxing or something like that. So he's not below any of that. So
But I mean, I would also keep in mind that the day of the Hollywood blockbuster is waning, I feel like. And I think
mhm.
people I think these actors want to get back to doing art, right? And don't forget, Hollywood blockbusters used to have some art in it, and it wasn't just slapped together in 6 months on a computer screen, right? Like, and I say this as someone who loves CG VFX, but it seems like these movies have become really impersonal. Like, I feel like the last person that I feel like was really like kind of excited to be in a Marvel movie was maybe Benedict Cumberbatch, like talking about the first Doctor Strange and how he like wore his costume to a comic book store and stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not seeing anybody be like super excited to be in these giant
Well,
blockbusters. Everyone wants to
yeah.
kind of move on and do their art, and that's fine. That
I
makes sense to
I
me.
I I know we talked about it a little bit, but I do wish that like uh what was the name of it? The Marvels. I really wish that I had a chance to do a promo run because Iman Vellani is somebody who is that person that you're kind of discussing. Like you want to see that person who is excited. She's excited about that franchise and more knowledgeable than most people making these movies. Um, and I would have loved to have seen her do some promo stuff during that movie. So, and I just heard that there's a chance that they're getting a season 2 of Miss Marvel. So that would be exciting. Maybe we'll get to hear her talk about it a little bit more. Um,
I mean,
but yeah,
she's great. I haven't seen the Marvels yet. I did see season one of Miss Marvel, and like, do I wish they would have done like the Avengers video game story? Yeah, with her and like Bruce Banner driving around in a van, sure. Uh, but she was great. I learned a little something about history, and she's by far the most cheerful, optimistic. Like you want to watch her play that character. So
yeah.
give her a season two.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, we're gonna go back to Chris Pratt, actually. So I don't know why there's a picture of Jake Johnson here, but it's a video, and it says Chris Pratt weighs in on returning to the franchise. Guys, Owen Grady not done. He's not done yet. Did you know? Did you know while talking about Garfield, um, he said, "Hey, never say never. Maybe I return. Maybe I don't. You'll just have to tune in to find out. I know I'll be first in line whether I'm in it or not." And that was when he was asked if he would return to the series. And they talked a little bit about Scarlett, and he said, "You know what? She didn't reach out to him. She didn't. She hasn't called. But you know, ScarJo, I'm only one call away. I think Colin Jost, by the way, my good buddy, cousin, brother, sibling, whatever he is, he has Chris Pratt's number. So feel free to reach out. And yeah, that's exciting news. That's really cool. So that was pretty much it. I just wanted to read through that little quote there of Chris Pratt, definitely confirming that Owen Grady is back in this new movie. It's another Marvel team up here. with Black Widow and Star-Lord, Peter Quill. What do you think? We getting it? Is that happening?
I mean, look, I want him back, but I don't necessarily need him back in like a starring position. And is Chris Pratt gonna not do a starring role? I don't know. Does Chris Pratt's team allow him to do like B tier? I don't want to say B tier. That's not really the right word, but like not a headlining character.
Well, he was in Thor: Love and Thunder for like 2 minutes, right? So
Yeah, but
I know that's kind of
like a
contractual and everything, but
I don't even know if it's like contractual necessarily. Like Marvel just needed a reason to be like, hey, remember the last time he was with the Guardians?
you were with
so
them.
Now we're kind of screwed because of the pandemic, and we need to do a Thor movie. And dude, to me that was the most fun stuff. Like I'm just really disappointed we never got that.
I know.
That
What a
Chris
great
Pratt.
movie that could have been, like a whole movie
Yeah.
with them. There's still time.
Yep.
Yeah, you could go back and do that. To be honest, let's do it. Let's go back. I don't care. But I don't think this is going to be happening anytime soon. But I would love that idea of like him just popping in, him and Claire or whatever, just popping in for a quick scene or something like that. Kind of like Franklin. Was it Franklin? Oh yeah, it was Franklin in Jurassic World Dominion. He was in the beginning for a little bit, but like I could see a scene like in the middle of the movie where he was like doing that like CIA or whatever that service was. I would like to see Owen pop up in like a small short scene like that. I think that could be nice. But who knows? I mean, we don't even know where this next movie is even going to go. It could go to the past. It could go to the current timeline. I don't know.
No idea.
I hope she reaches out. I hope they talk about this. Does she like the other Chris's better? Maybe.
Well, the reality is she's got like a way more important mission, fighting AI, and
oh, for sure, yeah.
If she was like, hey, I have to drop out.
She's always got a lot to fight
because I have to. If she's like, I have to drop out of Jurassic because I have to go battle AI, I'd be like, all right, like, good for you. Like, yes,
yeah,
go fight that noble battle.
Yeah, honestly, like that would be fine. I would love to see her in this movie, but like if there's bigger causes, yeah, I mean that's it. Maybe she can get Chris Pratt to join her. He probably doesn't care. All right, so that I think is most of the new movie news. So yeah, there's been a lot to catch up on, I think, and hopefully with Jurassic June right around the corner, we get some more. But I want to go over to Target and talk about our last topic of the night here.
Ooh, let's go to Target. Oh, that doesn't look good.
Let's go to Target. Let's.
Well, that looks awful.
Yeah.
That wasn't right.
Whoops. Anyway, Beyond the Gates happened.
Where we just got Giganotosaurus and Therizinosaurus. I guess a little surprised that they didn't split those two pre-orders up. Like, I'm sure it just depends on what's coming in on cargo and stuff, but why would you not have put like a small one with a big one? Too much. Like, I don't know. This just felt underwhelming, and it's because last month was so stacked. And I wish they would. There's nothing wrong with these whatsoever. It's just this is the Claire that we got in the standard version already. This Delta doesn't look all that like better than a standard Jurassic World figure from 2018. And they're still photoshopping those eyes in these promos. And I wish that Mattel would realize, like, hey, if we have to Photoshop the eyes in our dinosaurs, maybe we should stop with this glass eye thing. I don't know who said they loved it or how it's come across, but I think it's awful, and I wish they would go back to painted eyes.
Yeah, I know they've been hit or miss.
This likeness isn't really all that great, is it? Someone said it looks like the lady from Married with Children. I forget her name, but
Peggy. Is her name Peggy?
Yeah. No, not in real life.
Peg? No, not in real life. No, I don't remember that show for the life of me. But maybe that name popped in my head. But yeah, the likeness is not very good. The figure looks fine, looks okay. It's a lot of brown from like the waist down. I don't know if like were her shoes that same color. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she wore a lot of brown in that movie. Like, I think this is pretty accurate to the film. I don't know. I mean, I have again. I pre-ordered them. I have no problem with these figures. It's just hard to say that like this is how you follow up Giganotosaurus. Like not everyone can be a banger. I get it, but
these forearms looked like super jacked. Like in this picture specifically, they don't look like they match the upper arm, like the bicep area. I don't know if that's accurate, but
like I dig that you can take off her coat. Like if I were to ever like display this character, it's going in like this without the coat, like for sure.
Yeah, that looks pretty. I like it. Yeah, I think that without the coat looks good. Because it's got the sleeveless, like the half sleeve look, which is cool. It's got a backpack. But yeah, that likeness on the face is not great. $14.99 for that figure. And then the other one. Let's go ahead and look at the Delta figure. $14.99 as well. Sure. I mean, at this point, we're so far removed from Jurassic World that I forget what all the colors looked like on the dinosaurs. And I guarantee this is not accurate by any means, which is kind of unfortunate, I would assume.
I doubt it's really, I mean, I doubt it's accurate to what the final product will be. I doubt it's accurate to the film. Again, I think I have a Delta figure, a standard Velociraptor Delta that's pretty much that exact same paint job. I think I've seen posts going around where it's like these Hammond Collection figures are becoming like the paint jobs are basically the same as what they used to do. They're very like just like two-tone, very little brushing. I mean, okay, like Delta's green, sure. Like, and I don't know. I think there's better images of Delta than that, but like, I don't know.
That was a pretty. There's not really great images, but like,
I mean, you just heard me. You just heard me say that I have 32 Velociraptors or something like that floating around this house. So like, am I getting this one? Yes, absolutely. Am I excited for it? Like, I don't know.
Nah. No, not very exciting. And yeah, you're probably right. Like it should have been, well, I don't know. To be honest, I think when they hit you with those two big ones, right? You're just like, whoa, I need these. But I think if they were to hit you with a big one and a small one, I think you maybe would more so say, oh, I'm going to pass on the small one. I'm just going to get this big one. So maybe the likelihood is that you would pass on them if they paired them up that way. But if they pair them up together, you're more likely to be like, well, a month later, I'm like, okay, I'll just get both of these or one of them, whatever. But like, I feel like you're less likely to maybe pass them up. But I do like that idea. I feel like that was a good idea initially, but I'm not sure. July 21st release date on this one. Was the other one the same? I didn't pay attention.
I think it was sometime in June, and I'm getting a little nervous because that means those two big ones are going to be
July 21st.
Billing soon.
So,
okay.
yeah, they're going to be hitting the cars.
They've been on dates like recently, the last few waves. So,
yeah, that's what I've been hearing, and I haven't pre-ordered any of. Oh, I did last time. Last month I got both of those, but outside of that, I haven't gotten any of them. I just found the Dennis Nedry like motorcycle thing in stores, so that's in stores now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, if you poke around Target today, like their website, they've got sales going on. Metricanthosaurus, or not Mamenchisaurus for like 34. That Nedry set's like 17.
Look, he's got sales going on. If you check the men's clothing aisle, there is this shirt. So he's got the Target shirt on. I almost got one the other day. I was like, I might have to get this. But this is what's his name? Jason Michael. I just missed it. I'll also be doing some toy photography. I have his Instagram here. Oh, Jason Michael. That's it. Let's just go with Jason Michael. Jason Michael was actually like the second one, I think, to do this, and he's back again. So this is the second time. doing like a little setup here. So, and he made like he's really great at these photos. So like, let's go, man. That like setup looks really cool. Lighting looks really cool. Placement, everything looks awesome. And then he used like the full set. Like, look at how cool that looks. That's awesome,
dude. With the Giganotosaurus, it's so good. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, it's really really cool.
So yeah, they sent him all this stuff. Giga, and he's got Pyroraptor in the background. Spot that. You can get a good eye on that.
I saw some beauty shots floating around of the Pyroraptor. I'm assuming then that's what we're getting like the next month around. I've also seen a new 93 set floating out there, so maybe that's what we'll get coming up.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too, because that let's just pop over to that right now. Let's go to Collect Jurassic's Instagram page here, and I know they posted it. So look at that, dude. 93 classic right there with a classic young T-Rex. So cool. And then the Jeep with a more action figure kind of style to it. Actually, like the old action trucks and stuff that they had, they all looked like very unique and cool. So it's a slightly different take on the Jeep, it looks like. It's got a big capture containment unit thing, and then a Ray Arnold in a unique outfit there, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's unique. I'll give you that. It is a unique outfit.
Oops, can't zoom. Cool. I learn this every week. Every week I try to zoom, and then I realize I can't zoom. I don't know if this was that paint job on the Rex ever seen. I forget.
Yes. So, Brad, I'm going to let you stall for 30 seconds while I go get my power.
All right, I'll put this part on pause, but I want to go back to the other thing here, because I was talking about Michael here, Jason B, whichever order that goes in, Jason, Michael. And one topic that we've been talking about recently is the use of creators in the creator edition, or whatever they're calling it. What was it again? Yeah, creator edition. The fact that like none of the creators, as far as I've followed up on, have really posted about it. Now, Jason did post a story. So we did get a story, like a reel that was reposted here, showcasing that he, worked on this. But that was it, just the one reel. But again, like no posts. Did he even post about the other one? I'm not too sure.
Well, I mean, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear it.
So, yeah. All right, I'm back. We can officially continue. Yeah, I don't understand why they're not contractually obligated to like talk about this stuff for at least a week.
It's so weird. Yeah, like I don't get it, man. I just don't understand the creator version if you're not going to utilize the creator outside of the video. So that's just very strange to me. But I just wanted to check in again, because we've been doing that over the course of the past few weeks, seeing if there's been any postings or anything about it. So again, really, really great work, like excellent work with the images and stuff like that and the videos. So I think they look really good. I just want to see them post about it and utilize their followings. 40,000, you could utilize that 40,000 and showcase that you've taken some Jurassic pictures. It just comes off as weird, like the fact that is there a contract that says they can't post about this stuff? I don't know. It seems like that's more likely now that there's a contract that they can't.
Do you think they're paying these creators?
Oh yeah, I would assume so. I would hope.
What?
I don't know what. No.
Or then I guess like just to be like, hey, shoot us a video. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, make us a video.
I just feel like you're totally right. It's like, why not utilize this creator? Why not have some contract where it's like, hey, like we need you to post one picture a week until the next creator edition. right? Like I don't know, man.
It's odd. And at that point, why wouldn't you just hire somebody out in LA like to just come into the studio for a week and shoot some pictures or video for these series if that's really what you want to do. If you didn't want to do the full in-depth Beyond the Gates that the Outpost guys did, if you don't want to go that deep like they did, I'm surprised they didn't just hire somebody to just film some stuff for them and be done with it because it's interesting. I just find it so odd and interesting that they're not
That's
really
what makes me think
utilizing
that
them
they're not
outside these
paying these
videos.
people that much money.
They're just giving them the toys and being like, make us stuff. I doubt that. I highly doubt
I
that they're
don't think
just
so. I think
toys being paid for.
content creators have gotten like more savvy than that these days, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like it was 5-10 years ago where like people were just like, yeah, just send us toys, we'll do anything for you, but yeah, it is just bizarre to me that they're not utilizing uh like that. This is an amazing photo. Why is this not on his Instagram
I don't know.
or whatever,
Don't know.
you know?
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, it's a good looking thing. So, but let's
Yeah.
go back over to the other one you were talking about, the
Yeah,
classic
so
T-Rex.
this is based off of the Kenner Series 2 young Tyrannosaurus Rex that had like dino damage. I was very lucky in my college years to be able to snag one of these on eBay. And then even luckier to snag the piece a few years later on eBay. Like I did not get the Tyrannosaur with the piece. I had to like seek it out. Very cool that they're doing a new sculpt. I don't know if I'm in love with anything else in this set. The Jeep to me doesn't. The Jeep doesn't reference, I don't think, anything from Kenner whatsoever. The character doesn't, I don't think, reference anything from Kenner, and so this might be the
Did you
first thing
say
where I'm like, I don't get what the.
what was the Rex a series 2?
Yeah, the Rex was a series 2.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just comparing the images here because the color scheme is not perfect. It's not a one for one. Um, so that
Well,
finding that interesting.
they've always been a little off,
A little
right?
bit. I mean, like the classic Rex, the 93 Rex is pretty spot on. And what else was there? I don't know. There's
I mean, let me make
the
sure I'm not like
Gallimimus was like pretty close.
let me make sure I'm not misrepresenting the figure I'm talking about. But yeah, I believe this was a series 2.
I mean, the
Tyrannosaurus.
series 2 one does have like a lighter color on the bottom. Actually, the catalog looks a lot closer. So this looks like the catalog version, which I don't know if that was
Uh,
supposed to be different.
So I'm looking at JP Toys and their picture that they have. The bottom is a little more green
Hmm.
than what I'm aware that the figure, like my figure that I have, it's
Maybe
a
it
little more
faded
yellow.
or something.
It's not as vibrant as this yellow here, but it's definitely more yellow. Like
But if you
the
look at
Series
like
2
the
T-Rex.
catalog and stuff like that, it actually represents it perfectly. So
What's crazy is that like the Series 2 young Tyrannosaur, like if you put it next to the Kenner Bull T-Rex from the Lost World, they look like one is like an older and one is younger. Like they look like they're the
yeah,
same.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, like that's kind of really the only thing I'm like really hyped about on this. I don't understand this Jeep. I don't know what this is supposed to represent. Um, and then the figure, I don't think we
Yeah.
ever had a figure like this at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. It kind of looks like he's wearing the Roland Tembo like shirt, like the dragon like skin looking thing he's got on his
Yeah,
chest. It kind of looks like that. But I'm totally down for it. I don't remember if we ever got one like this or not, or if there was one like, unmade or anything like that. It's been so long since I've looked into these old toys at this point, that I never had. But but yeah, I think it looks cool. I'm excited to see more of the Jeep, to see like what exactly does the hood look like, because the hood looks like it has some kind of cool like red spray paint kind of like down the center. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. But yeah, I'm totally down for this. I think this is an instant buy for sure. So I'm excited for it.
I'm like, aside from this like big yellow launcher thing,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that does feel like more like the I think they called it the Bush Devil Tracker when we were kids. It wasn't like the Jeep Wrangler. I
Sure.
guess it's a little more reminiscent of that. Like that red frame in the back. That's definitely what Kenner had. Kenner didn't have any doors, I believe. Kenner's just was like an open Jeep side type thing. Does this have the sliding chair? I wonder. Maybe that's
Oh, that could be
part of
nice.
it.
Yeah, if they wanted to go for the sliding chair. I don't want
Yeah.
gifts. I hit the wrong. I hit the wrong website. My bad.
Ooh.
Let's go back. um, let's see. Oh, I can't bring it up. It's not working. All right. Well, anyway. But yeah, the Bush Devil Tracker was such a great one, but it doesn't totally look like it's replicating that, but it's like its own kind of thing. There was one that had that kind of like the slots in the window. What one was that? Was that the
There was a
it was like
for the
Series 2
the
maybe?
Lost World. No, for the Lost World there was a car that had a net on the side and it had
Mm,
slotted windows up front.
okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because that looks unique, or at least like something that I've seen before. Oh yeah. There was that Jeep. That I do have that Jeep actually, probably sitting right around here somewhere. That Jeep's way cooler though, to be honest.
Yeah.
The old Lost World Jeep, Net Trapper or whatever. So that thing was sick. Hopefully we get one like that one day. But I'm not opposed to this one. I think it looks pretty cool. So, but yeah, I think that's
It looks
probably
cool.
it. I think that's probably all we got, topic wise. Yeah.
Brad, did we do this in an hour and 5 minutes?
Yeah, and change. Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
We've done
Crazy.
it. All right. So, since this is the end of the wire portion of this recording, we will be back for more in the live stream. But, Aaron, where can everybody find you? Nowhere, right? Pretty much nowhere.
No.
No
No, you can't find me.
updates.
Well,
Nothing.
oh.
Ooh, ooh.
You can find me on eBay. Bays one two
Oh,
three. I am seller Bays 123 BEYS 123, and I am selling some Jurassic stuff. I got some art books up there. I got Charon Legacy art book up there. Now I hate to disappoint. I'm not selling anything that's like worthless. Like I'm legit going through my book collection and being like, oh, this Tomb Raider book is selling for $180 for some dumb reason. Sure, I'll try that.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe you
All
want
right,
to put
man.
an offer in on some of my fine wares.
Let's boost those prices
And
for you.
shoot me a message and be like, hey, like I listened to the Jurassic Park podcast. Will you cut me a deal? And I might cut you a few bucks. How about that? How about
I love
that?
it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you coming on here again. We've probably got more. Actually, we didn't even look at that. I'm sure we've got more coming up in the future. Next month, it looks like, oh, we know what that is. One new item from the 93 Classic Collection. I think we know what that is. We just looked at it.
That's all we're getting next month? Okay. Well,
That's all we're getting. So, hey, we just talked about it. We don't need to do one next month. So forget it.
cut, paste,
Jurassic
like
June,
we're
who
good to go.
cares? Ooh, and then July we got that Jurassic World Reimagined, so I can't wait to see what that is coming up soon.
Yes. That
What is it?
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
What is it? But
Right.
we'll
Wait.
find out.
Do we think it's Jurassic World? We should. What do you think it is, Brad? Do you know yet, or do you not know?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think it's Jurassic mashups with other brands, like
Oh,
similar to the Transformers Jurassic thing. I think it's like Jurassic World, but like different styles. Maybe I don't know what I think. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I hope it's like 93 collection, but Jurassic World. Maybe that would be cool. You know? Like we get the characters from Jurassic World. You get a Simon Masrani with Nuke and, you know, helicopter that transforms or something, like crazy stuff, like I don't know who was even in that movie. Vic Hoskins with robot arm that looks like what was
It's
that guy that the
specifically
unmade
called yeah. It's specifically called
scrap
Jurassic World
whatever
Reimagined.
Jurassic World reimagined collection. Yeah.
All right, so I'm almost wondering if it's like the '93 collection. Uh, maybe they took every dinosaur from the Jurassic World franchise, so like all 6 movies. Like, what if we get a T-Rex, like Hammond collection style, but he's all like feathered out, and like
Ooh,
it's like
that'd be
a
cool.
scientifically accurate Jurassic Park T-Rex.
You might be onto something.
What if?
You might.
What if? What if it's figures based on the books?
Sure. I don't think so. I doubt
I don't know.
that.
I don't know what
highly
that would
doubt
be.
that.
I don't know what that would be.
I want Arby now. Who else is in that?
Dude, come on, man. The Crichton collection, a Dilophosaurus with like a yellow Dilophosaurus
Grant
with
with
like the red
beard.
spots and stuff.
I need
Grant with
bearded
beard.
Grant with Hawaiian shirt
Well, we
or
have
whatever
beard,
he was
we
wearing.
have bearded Grant. We have bearded
Oh
Grant.
yeah, we do. We do have bearded Grant.
What if
I
like
forgot.
what if
Actually,
you got
did he
like
have a beard really? Like in that toy? Can't really tell. Too far
I don't
away.
really know. What if we got the Land Rover with like the blue Jurassic Park logo? That like it was like the blue Brachiosaur. That was like the logo in the movie or the book. The book, sorry.
Yeah,
That sounds like a terrible collection. Don't do that, Mattel. I mean, do it, but know that it's not going to sell anything. I'll buy it. That's it.
Maybe we'll be
I'm just
a little bit closer
We should
next
cut.
month. We'll have to wait and see. Until then,
Maybe.
see you
Something
next
a week.
time.
See it.
All right, that's it. That's the end of that recording. Don't leave. We didn't totally finish. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully everybody liked The Wire. This will be posted at some point on the podcast feed. There's a shirt. Oh, I didn't even see the shirts on the bottom of the website. So if you want to go grab that shirt, boom. It's on here. Ready for camp season.
I saw that shirt the other
What
day.
is camp season?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Safari camp? This safari shirt? I don't know. Did you see the we didn't talk about any chaos theory. So let's talk about it here.
okay.
Before we go, chaos theory, I've seen it. And I want to convince you. I want you to watch it. I want you to be able to partake in the chaos theory. But I feel like you're probably underwhelmed. I feel like I don't think you finished Camp Cretaceous, and I feel like you just don't care at this point about diving into a new animated show when you've got so much other stuff to probably watch. So what can I do to convince you? I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say anything I shouldn't. But can I convince you? Is there something that could help?
So all the images I've seen of chaos theory look cool. They look like grounded situations for the Jurassic universe.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, is there stupid stuff in this chaos theory show?
Honestly,
And by stupid, I mean like, is there like
I know what you mean.
Marvel
Bumpy,
type dumb tech?
like, well, I the one thing when you say that pops into my mind is in Camp Cretaceous when Ben was like riding away from an explosion on top of Bumpy, kind of flying out of like a garage or something like that.
I think of like the remote control dinosaurs. Like
Sure.
Like
the
I
robots,
didn't even like that in
the
Dominion. Like, it was stupid in Dominion. Like it was just like, yeah.
I liked it in Dominion. I thought the
Brads.
implementation was good in Dominion. It kind of like calmed it down what was done in Camp Cretaceous and brought
it did
more
It did.
realistically, I think. But
So is there stuff
no.
like that in this? Okay.
No, there's not. There's honestly not any silly over the top kind of stuff like that. I think most of the action and the stuff that happens is pretty grounded and pretty realistic in terms of like what you would see a movie character do in this universe. And I don't think there was any of those moments. Like I honestly, outside of maybe one thing, which is purposeful in its reaction, I think. But outside of one thing, the rest of the show is super, super grounded and realistic. And I think it's something that you could watch and be like, yeah, this fits. This fits in that universe.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Well,
I hope.
we just really
I
have
think the show. What's that?
We just have one other hurdle, which is I downgraded my Netflix to the $6.99 commercial garbage.
Mhm.
Am I going to want to watch this with commercials, Brad? Or do
Well,
I want to
don't
get
know,
back
like-
to the premium 4K, premium 4K
Well,
experience?
yeah, I can't say because I'm not really sure where they would place commercials. Is it before or after? Is it during? Like, what are they?
So in my
usually do?
experience with Netflix, with Netflix, there is no rhyme or reason. They will straight cut in the middle of a sentence.
Oh,
Like a
wow.
commercial.
Okay.
Super weird.
Interesting.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't really say if I can answer that like fully because I don't know what the experience would be like, but like I would watch it as a Jurassic fan if I had to sit through, if I was watching this on live TV or something. And yeah, I guess the first episode actually is out to some extent. I think it was in Roblox or something like that, Aaron. So if you want to go dive into Roblox and try to find, I don't know if it's still available or not. I have no idea.
Here's the
Elizabeth
thing.
was in there, so I'm not sure if he knows.
I'm gonna
but,
say no.
um,
I'm gonna say no as if it's like beneath me. But like honestly, if they put this in Fortnite, like they
You'd
used to have
watch.
the movie theater in Fortnite, yeah, I'd go watch it
Yeah.
there. Like sure.
Yeah.
why not?
I guess they can't afford the Fortnite collaboration. Well,
That
they
too.
just will not. They just will not. I guess and honestly, interesting point to talk about because with Disney teaming up with Epic now, do you think like the Universal days are over? Like the opportunity to ever do the collabs, or no? I mean, there's plenty of other
No, because
brands
I
in
think
there, right?
I think Marvel likes money. I think Epic likes money, or I shouldn't say Marvel. Disney likes money. Disney needs
Mhm.
money. Like I just had a friend laid off at Pixar the other day.
Oh yeah, there was like 150
They're
something or
yeah,
whatever.
they're not doing well over at Disney. They need the money. Also don't think that like it makes me mad to hear Iger even talk about video games because it wasn't too long ago that Disney did have their own publishing branch.
Mm-hmm.
And they did things like Disney Infinity, which was fine. Like I think 2.0 is very good. I think 3.0 maybe I was kind of just falling out of love in general with the franchise, but I was kind of falling out of love with Toys to Life anyway, like regardless of brand. It's just, they had a publishing arm and they kind of like blew it off and were like, we're going to go to game companies that make sense to make our games. And then they give Square Enix the Avengers as a lifestyle looter shooter games as service. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, they're not the company that makes sense to do that. Why would and so that game kind of tanked. Spider-Man did really well at Sony, but I feel like Spider-Man would have done well kind of regardless, maybe. I don't It's hard to say.
so.
I don't remember how those other Spider-Man games were doing before the Insomniac ones. I don't know. It's really frustrating to hear Iger say like, "Oh, we just learned about this thing called video games." Like, no, you didn't.
Yeah,
Get out
Disney
of here.
Infinity was
Stop
awesome, dude. We were just playing that recently. Man, that game is fun. Like it's so
dude.
cool.
There's I that game. If you're out there and you got a kid and you want them to have some fun, Disney Infinity is great, and the surface play is really fun. But dude, there's stuff in there that like teaches your kids about logic creation in video game editors and stuff. Like if this then this type coding in this like very specific engine. I don't know. Was Disney Infinity a PlayStation 4 thing? I think it was.
Yeah,
And
it was on there.
you can go to if you're a parent, man, you can go to a GameStop and you can get a handful of characters, a pedestal, and the crystals. I bet you could walk out for under $20 with a good setup for Disney
Yeah.
Infinity for your kid. I've got a bunch of the figures in the closet over here because we were just really into Toys to Life for a while, and it was sad to see them cancel that game in the way that they did. Um,
Yeah,
it was a huge
I
bummer.
was so bummed about that. But yeah, I don't think it fully, like, talking back to Fortnite, I don't think it fully takes Universal out of the picture, but the Universal is like their number one competitor when it comes to stuff like this, so I don't know if they'll want to, get in that train, but yeah, it's a shame. But what were we even talking about? We were talking about, oh, Chaos Theory
Yes,
and
theory.
Roblox. So is there anything else that I could help with convincing you? Because I think, honestly, I feel like the show is really great, and it's grounded. It's a little bit darker, and it's like, I think it's a great story that, like, is kind of like a buddy cop kind of scenario travel show, kind of thing. And it was fun. Like, it's a fun show, and it's not silly or over the top or stupid or anything like that. I think it's pretty grounded, follows in the footsteps of the movies, brings up some unique topics. And I think it's worth watching, to be honest.
I I'm honestly not that hesitant to watch it. I don't think it's going to be. I'm of the mindset that it's probably not going to be that great, but I didn't think Dominion did a very good job of showing us what the world is like when dinosaurs are free. Um,
Hmm.
I felt like all the dinosaur stuff was relatively in cages, almost like when you went to Malta, it wasn't like there was dinosaurs running around. Like all the dinosaurs were owned and
Yeah.
captured by humans and like being traded, right? They escaped, which I guess is the fun of Jurassic Park, right? Is watching the dinosaurs escape. And I felt like
Yeah.
the valley was super controlled. Um, and in
Hmm.
fact, I thought the valley was just not original at all. I felt like it was very like, hey, back to the island, except for it's an island in the middle of mountains, so it's isolated.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I
So
do
I'm
think the
interested
show
to see
fixes
what
that.
I'm hoping this show will show us what the world is like. Like the most fascinating stuff for me in Dominion is when she's like at the Ceratosaur farm or whatever, right? And like uh any kind of transportation of dinosaurs is always interesting, I guess, if we're gonna go do the real world. Um
Was it Nasutoceratops, or was it a different one of those dinosaurs?
what was it? I think it was Nasutoceratops. It was the baby
Yeah.
Nasutoceratops,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or Pachyrhinosaurus?
Mm, no,
Nasutoceratops,
but I
for
think the
sure.
show does a good job of kind of, you know dealing with real world stuff, for sure, absolutely. And I think it expands upon, a lot of what you really wanted to see. There was a lot of, like, quick things that popped up in, like, a news feed, or something like that you saw in Dominion. And I think it kind of takes those concepts and expands it, and it shows you a ground level traveling from place to place, and what different people or different things are doing with dinosaurs at this point. And it comes up with some really fun takes on what would happen if that were the case. And I love that there's some beautiful moments when it showcases dinosaurs in the wild. There's some funny moments, there's some scary moments, sad moments. So there's, like, a lot of just different takes on what would happen in America with dinosaurs in the wild. So
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm not looking for like the world to be overrun with dinosaurs, but
Mhm.
I didn't get the sense that like Trevorrow and company really even knew what to do with that concept. And I've said this for years. I think once you leave Nublar, like Jurassic's not interesting anymore because I'm of the mindset that dinosaurs being loose is not a problem, because we would
No,
straight up work those things, no issue.
and I think the show tackles dinosaurs in the wild as fairly normal. Like, it doesn't seem like there's ever, like, complete chaos or anything like that. It feels like the world is treating it very normally, and maybe to the point where, like, we're trying to get used to things or whatever. So I think it's cool in the way that it handles stuff. You got to watch, because there's, like, some really unique takes on what the world is doing to
Yeah, I'll
combat
probably
it and
watch.
to think about it.
It's also gonna. It's also great. There's a really big Jurassic dry spell right now, so like, I don't feel like I'm being bombarded with Jurassic anyway. Like, whatever. And I don't gotta like sit and binge the whole thing unless I really want to. I can pop an episode on every day. No one's gonna. There's no rule saying you have to binge watch Netflix.
Yeah, I like it. So watch it, enjoy it, and I think you'll have a good time.
All right.
But let's go ahead and wrap up the stream. I'll probably edit that into the wire at some point. Why not? It works.
Yeah, sure.
We got an extra topic out of that. But yeah, so go over to our website, JurassicParkPodcast.com. Before the show airs, check out our spoiler-free content if you haven't already. We've got an interview with the executive producers, and showrunners, Scott Kramer and Aaron Hammersley, and we have some spoiler-free thoughts. And then we've got spoiler content coming for you this Friday, and another spoiler interview coming next week, and this episode that you just heard on the stream. But yeah, that's that. You can check it out on Spotify, places like that. We're over there. And my other show, Grim Grinning Hosts, we did a collaboration crossover with my other co-host on that show, Hunter. We talked about theme parks and stuff for Jurassic. And then we went over there and talked about 25th anniversary merchandise for the Phantom Menace. So please go check out that episode. That was a blast. But Aaron, thank you so much for joining me. That's it.
Thanks for having me.
Nobody can follow you anywhere. Nobody's going to follow you, so don't worry.
Nope.
And except for your eBay page,
which I don't even honestly know if I gave the right sales name.
Hit him up on some platform out there, and maybe he'll be able to give
me a call. Give him a call.
His number, is on the stream. I'm putting it right below right now for you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's cue that music again. How do I get that going? There we go. Boom. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe, stay Jurassic, and as always, is that what I say? Enjoy.
I don't know.